Today, we're going to walk through a financial health quiz. This quiz is going to show you specifically what you're doing well at and what you can improve upon. If you're out there and you're trying to figure out your debt, you're trying to learn how to invest, you're trying to learn how to optimize your money, this quiz is for you. So I'm going to put this in the show notes below. I'm going to walk through specifically how this is laid out, how this is structured, and the report card it actually gives you. And then also I'm going to break down the end report card so that you understand what you're actually looking at when you do see the report card. So I'm going to start the quiz. I'm going to go through this first step very quickly because I need to enter my personal information in. All right, so once the information is entered, this is the first question. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your overall financial picture? Now I'm going to kind of make up some of my answers today just to kind of show you, like, generally speaking, where somebody might be at. So we have the report card. It doesn't say all green checks because, you know, Budgetdog, we get all green checks, but we're going to do this as the everyday person trying to fix their finances. They aren't at that level and they want to get to that level. Okay. So confidence, be honest when you're answering these questions. If you don't feel confident about your money, if you can't specifically tell me in 10 years I'll be at this number net worth, in 20 years I'll be at this, here's exactly what my lifestyle is going to look at, here's the exact steps I'm taking to get to those different levels of life. If I can't tell you everything about my financial journey, I'm not selecting a 10. I'm not selecting an 8, 9, or 10. If I have like a general idea where I'm headed, I'm probably rolling with like a 5. If I have no idea, I haven't even started investing, I don't even have an amortization schedule, if you don't even know what I just said, that's definitely means you're below a 5 here. If you don't have a balance sheet, amortization schedule, a budget, it all works together, you know specifically step by step of what you're doing, you should be below 5 here. But let's just say you're at a 5. You kind of are investing a little bit for retirement, you kind of know what's going on, but you don't know definitively what's going on. So I'm going to do a 5. My next question is, how much are your monthly expenses on average? So you want to put in a dollar format here. So whatever that would be for you, obviously. I'm going to do the example I have here. So $5,500. Now, monthly expenses on average are going to be important to look back at 3 months historical averages. So this is every expense that actually happens. Now, what typically people enter here are what they know, and that's extremely detrimental to the outcome of this quiz. If I put incorrect information into a system, if my inputs are bad, my outputs are even worse. So my input needs to be accurate. Now, if you've never done this process, you need to go through a 3-month look back exercise where you're looking at everything historically speaking on averages. So the last 3 months actual expenses, don't leave anything out. Don't like decide or justify things away, because that's what a lot of people do. It's like, oh, well, that's not going to happen again. Yeah, it is, in a different format. Like, you might not blow another tire in the next 3 months, but a dishwasher is going to blow or something else is going to blow. And so a lot of times people look backwards and they'll see something that's like not normal per se. Oh, that was just a vacation we decided to take one time, I'm not going to include that. Well, by the time you're said and done, you're leaving out everything that actually happened and you're hurting yourself. You got to be real with yourself. If you're lying to yourself, this is not going to work. So you need to actually get true documentation through bank statements, through downloading an app like Rocket Money and seeing the last 3 months of what's going on. Super simple. So let's just say that number is 5,500. What's your gross household income? Now, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about this, but I do need to give a little bit of context here because it's amazing how many people don't know this number. So if you don't know this number, just go to your tax returns previous year and see what they are. And assuming that you're on pace to do the same exact income this year, that's your gross household income. So this is before taxes. Like, this is what you make at your job as a salary. So if you make $100,000 and then you get taxed and you actually take home $65,000 after like medical benefits and all the other things in the paycheck, like, your gross household income would be $100,000. I don't know what that is for you, but again, take that and use your gross household income, the actual total amount. And that's if spouse is involved, both of yours. If you have variable income, just look at what you historically made, estimate for the future. It shouldn't be that hard to get to a pretty clear cut number. I'm going to put 130,000 in this example here. My next question is, how much cash do you have saved up currently? So this could be in any cash and cash equivalents. So if you do have like CDs, like certificate of deposits or money market accounts or anything like that, it's a cash equivalent. Add that all here. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Go to your bank account, see what the total balances are between those funds and add that here. So let's just say we have, $17,000. And again, I'm just making numbers up as I go. How much total do you have saved for retirement? Again, this is a pretty straightforward answer. Like, open your retirement accounts, add them all up, your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, your TSPs, your 457bs, etc. Your retirement accounts are pretty straightforward. So whatever that number is, let's just say we have $230,000. Next question, how much are you investing in monthly in total? Includes your 401k. So if your 401k is coming out of your paycheck, make sure you know what that amount of cash flow is. You might have put like 8% on your actual submission portal, but that comes out to be a dollar amount that would show on your paycheck stub. So make sure you know that, but add that along with anything else. Like you invest in an IRA, you invest in a taxable brokerage, you invest for your children, whatever the case is, make sure you include all of that here. So let's just say in this example, we do $1,500 because that's my example I use here. But again, get your accurate numbers. This is a better way to explain this. While you're answering this, if you don't know what these numbers are, that just tells me you don't know much about your plan and you're just guessing. And guessing is never going to get you to your answer. So on a scale 1 to 10, how confident are you in your investment allocations? Again, this is the percentages that you select within your investment accounts. So let's give some context here because I know this is confusing for many people. So if you open a 401k, your 401k is not the investment allocation. If you have a 401k, IRA, and taxable brokerage, that's not the allocation. That's where you're putting your money, which account you're putting your money in. And the way you put your money in that from a tax perspective, they're taxed differently based on the type of account. But yes, your 401k is the stock market. I know I get that question a lot. Like, why would I not invest in the stock market versus my 401k? I'm like, what are you talking about? The 401k is a vehicle to invest in the stock market. The IRA is a vehicle to invest in the stock market. The taxable brokerage is a vehicle to invest in the stock market. And I'm going to say another one, the 529 is a vehicle to invest in the stock market. So you are investing in the stock market. That's a very key question I get a lot. So that's why I'm bringing that up. So within those vehicles, what distribution have you made for the money that goes into that account? You put $1,000 in your 401k, $250 in your 529. Where's that actually going within? Which funds do you have within there? And again, not confident at all, 1, extreme confidence at 10. Let's just say we're at the 5. How much total debt do you have, not including your mortgage? Pretty straightforward answer. Go to your balance sheet. And again, if you don't have a balance sheet, we have work to do. But we need to just look at our liabilities on our balance sheet, see the total. Pretty straightforward. Let's just say this number is $45,000 and consists of student loans, cars, the usual. Are any of these debts above 6%? You obviously click yes or no. I'm going to put no just for this purpose. Which insurances do you have? Health, car, dental, etc. So most people are going to have health, I would assume. Most people are going to have car, I would assume. Most people are going to have homeowners, renters insurance, I would assume. Now, these other guys, it just depends. Like, you just check the box if you have. If you don't, if it's through work, be very careful assuming you have enough coverage. So it's a completeness check. So it's like, do I have enough, or do I have the proper insurance, or do I not? But it doesn't talk about, and the report card is not going to say, do you have enough of this? It's going to be like, hey, do you have this or do you not have this? So a lot of people skip these guys. Like, you should have all of these guys, by the way. There could be a debate on dental. That's fine. But long-term disability, you need. Term life insurance, you need. Umbrella policy, well, depends, obviously. There's situations, but primarily if you're following me, if you have a family, you have dependents, you need somebody that's, reliant upon your income, probably need term life insurance. And if that's all through work, like 1X, a lot of people have like term life insurance through that comes out of their paycheck. It's through work. That's not enough. Number 1, it's not enough. But number 2, if you get let go from that service, you no longer have term life insurance. Same thing goes for long-term disability. So be careful. And I put ID theft because it's not really an insurance, but I think it's very important in today's age. So do you have a financial advisor? Yes or no? I'm going to put yes. And I hope you don't, but wink, wink. How much do you pay for that advisor? I hope you don't pay 1% or more, but a lot of people are paying 1% and thinking they're not paying much until they realize that's 20% of their net worth evaporated out of thin air. We'll get into that conversation another day. If you've been following me, you know where I'm going with that. Next question, do you have a tax planner? I hope you have a tax planner. Let's discuss what this means, because a lot of people are like, well, I go to a CPA, but I do my taxes every year. So yeah, I have a tax planner. No, you don't. You have a tax preparer. That's a different thing than a tax planner. A tax planner is going to meet with you throughout the year, maybe once, maybe twice, depending on how complex your situation is, and strategize about the tax moves you should be making throughout the year. Most people don't. I'm going to say no, because most people do not. Do you have an estate plan? Unfortunately, most people, based on statistics, do not. Do you have trust? Do you have a will? Do you have directives? Just depends. Obviously, a lot of people don't. Someone hit no. So that's all questions. Oh, wow. This financial health score, 0 out of 100. I just scored a 14% based on my input. Now, that might have been purposeful on my responses to get you guys to understand what's going on here. However, this is not uncommon. Like, this is if you see this, don't jump at the screen. Like, don't punch the screen or turn this off. It's a good opportunity to learn and get better. This is a good opportunity to get wealthier. If you see this and you react negatively to it, or you shut down, or you shame yourself for it, you're not going to improve. And so we're all about improvement here. We're all about empowerment here. And if you want to get better, this is the best thing you'll see, because you're like, okay, obviously I'm not in the greatest financial position. I have a lot of work to do. And if I do that work, I'll get better results. Or you might be thinking, it might become as a shock to you. You might be like, I thought I was doing decent, but now, wow, this looks really bad. Doesn't matter. Whichever, emotion you have towards this, eliminate the emotion and realize realize the objective output that this report card just shared was really bad. And you have opportunity to make that better. So the first thing, we have 7 boxes, okay? So we have a red X or a green check. So if we look at this, we have 1 green check. Not great. But if you look at this, it breaks down each component based on how you answer it. And I do some calculations on the back end, which are awesome, to actually show you specifically what the issue is. And I kind of give you the summarized version of my nerdy calculation. So the first thing was my investment fees are a problem. So our records are showing that you're spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions in fees, based on the percentage that you shared with the AUM. And that does not include any other percentage of your expenses or of your investments, which could be expense ratios, could be, transaction fees, could be all the stuff I talk about in my fee video. I'll put that in the right-hand corner about all the investment fees that are out there. This is just the AUM based on the financial advisor question, essentially. And so if that's showing this as a red X, you have a major issue, because this is like the beginning of a bigger issue. And so the investment fees, we want to keep under 20 basis points, 0.20% in total. That includes everything. And again, this quiz is not going to pick up on every expense or, you have out there, or fee that you have out there. So this is a major issue, guys. We're having serious problems with this one right here with a lot of people. This is a very common one, and people don't understand, and they don't think they're doing a bad thing by answering the questions I asked until they see this. And they're like, wow, what's this really mean? This will cost you tons of money in the future. It is up to you if you want to change that. Again, you can click here for your solution if you want to do that. Second box, you have failed the paycheck to paycheck test. So yikes, you are overspending. It's going to take your income essentially, and it's going to compare that to your monthly expenses and all of that considered. Are you overspending? Are you in line? And that's going to calculate behind the scenes to say, are you living paycheck to paycheck, or are you good? Yikes, you're overspending. So we need to get our budget in line in this situation. Our actual outgo is not matching our ingo. And so what we're bringing in is not good enough for what we're spending. We got to fix that ASAP. The third thing is no financial system popped out. That is a major problem. If you have a red X on this, you have to click, here's your solution, and you have to fix this ASAP, or you're costing yourself tons of money. That's just the reality of this. So our results indicate that you do not have an automated financial system and need one to maximize your financial position. What is an automated financial system? That's probably the question you're asking yourself. I need to have a budget. I need to have an amortization schedule. I need to have a balance sheet. I need to have those 3 core documents. Those core documents are the essence of personal finance. If I don't have those 3 documents alone to begin with, I don't know my numbers. It is a math equation when I have my budget, my balance sheet, my amortization schedule, and they're all working cohesively together. Those should all work cohesively together. If you are failing this test as I'm talking and you don't have that, you definitely need to hit here's your solution. If you do have somewhat of a balance sheet, somewhat of a budget, somewhat of an amortization schedule, but they don't work cohesively, you need to click here's your solution. If on top of that, once I have that set up, I'm not automating every move that the numbers or the math tells me to make, you need to click here's your solution. If on top of that, you don't have a step-by-step guaranteed plan of what to do, when to do it, and you don't know the defined outcome of those financial moves, you need to click here's your solution. There's a lot of steps in this equation. There's a lot of pieces. That is the basics. That's the beginning. If you haven't checked that box, you definitely need it. So that is the financial system, automated financial system. And that is key to winning with money. You cannot manually do this, guys. You have to have an automated system that tells you what to do. It has logic, conditional logic that is built into the system. It's not biased. It's very, very robotic. That's how I got wealthy. That's how all my students get wealthy. It's super simple. Your retirement is doing okay. So it's not doing bad, but it's still a big red X. You don't want to be okay. You don't want to be average in this world. A lot of people are okay with being average. I'm not. So if you follow me, you're probably not either. So our records show that you have a decent retirement setup, but could be doing better. You can do better now by clicking the button. And so the key here, guys, is to make sure based on the retirement, numbers that you provided, based on your income, based on where you're at in your age and all that kind of stuff, are you on pace or are you not? And this is just going to calculate it, and based on your age, based on how much you're contributing, based on where you're at from a balance sheet perspective with total balance, and then based on what your goals are, this is going to show, are we good? Are we okay? Are we in a poor state? So that's important there. Your financial confidence is a concern. Do not underestimate this one. It's one of those ones that, like a specific number, there's not a logical component to this, but the way you answer, based on how you answer this question, when I asked you how your financial confidence is in your overall money picture, and then also on top of that, I asked you what your confidence in your investment allocations, that's going to calculate that. And if it's below a certain level, that says it's to be a concern. So confidence levels are everything. If I'm confident in something, I'm going to align myself with better company. I'm going to align myself with better education. I'm going to align myself with better output. And the answers are going to come to me in a lot more fluid way if I'm confident, if I'm asking the universe to bring me financial confidence. If I don't know what I'm doing, what's going to happen is I'm going to operate from scarcity mindset. I'm going to be in a really bad place mentally. I'm going to say, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to retire. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay off this debt. Maybe I can't pay off my debt in 23 months like I should be able to pay it off because the logic says I can, but emotionally I'm not there. If any of those things are concerned, if anything is not clear-cut logical, and I know for most people it's not because we're human, and if you don't have a financial system that's automated, you won't have this answer. You won't have the financial confidence. What I do for all my students and why I'm so confident in my output is because my input is pristine. My input has an automated financial system that tells me everything and gives me my output. And so if I have that, your financial confidence won't be a concern. But if you don't have that, you're probably going to be confused because you're like, I hope I can put enough grit and effort into my work to make more money to then invest more manually. And you're just playing a stupid losing game where you can automate this whole process. It's a math equation and you can set this up so you know the outcome of your decisions you're making right now and they're automated. So when your paycheck hits, it goes here, 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 and here automated. And based on that cash flow amount, that gets you to your ultimate goal in each one of those accounts. And all of your financial goals come to real life. If you can't confidently tell me that your financial confidence is a concern, it will hold you back and you need to click, here's your solution. Another one, number 6, is your investment allocation confidence is a concern. Like I said earlier, financial confidence with the first question is this one. The second one is the investment allocation confidence. The difference between knowing where to put your money within those specific accounts and not knowing is, it's hard to say, but it's probably a 6-figure, 7-figure mistake. Let me explain. There's many ways this can play out. The first way is that if I put something in my account, let's say I put $1,000 in my account and I grow this for, 5 years, and it grows to 100,000. So now I have a little more capital to risk. It goes to 100,000 and I've invested in one of the ETFs or index funds that one of the influencers online has told me to. And I get to the 100,000 mark and all of a sudden the market starts doing really bad. And I'm in an index fund. Like I thought this was safe. And then 100,000 drops to 80,000 and you lose $20,000. If I don't have investment allocation confidence that what I have in my investments is right, what happens? Doubt creeps in, nerves creep in, lack of confidence creeps in. And what happens when all those things happen? You make a reactionary move. And what happens is you panic sell and you actually do lose the $20,000 you just theoretically were losing. You've turned that in by clicking the sell button. Now I've set myself back decades. And then over and over and over, I do that over and over and over for years to come. And I continually set myself back for decades. And the impact of those moves is not just the $20,000, it's the lost compound interest effect of where you were headed. Also, the buying potential that you had at those lower valuations. Continue to do that, you're going to continue to lose. And you're going to lose at rapid rates. And I can calculate examples all day long, but it's going to cost you over 6 figures, well into 7 figures. If you constantly are jumping from lily pad to lily pad because you don't have enough confidence and you always change your plan when times get tough. Automated financial system, confidence are key here. Like, do not underestimate. There's a reason I have these 7 bullets here. For good reason, okay? The next one is great job on none to minimal debt. So based on our $45,000 mark that we mentioned, based on our income, based on everything else that we entered into the quiz, it will show, are we good or are we not? Are we way over our debt to income ratio or are we below our debt to income ratio? Ideally, guys, you know me, how I roll. I play with zero debt. I love zero debt. People out there saying you'll get rich off debt are few and far between. Yes, the numbers might support it, but no, the human being does not typically support it because of all the emotions that go into those decisions. So that is the quiz. That's the outcome. Now, based on this, it will show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Based on how many checks you got, it's just going to do 1 divided by 7 or 2 divided by 7 or 3 divided by 7. And that's going to get you your percentage. So as you can see, 1 divided by this is 14%, roughly speaking. And that's why that came out as the conclusion. But this is a great quiz. We have solutions for every single issue here. That's not a problem. We can fix your problem. I know we can. We've done it for 2,000 plus students within Budgetdog Academy. If you're looking to upgrade your financial life, you feel after this quiz that, hey, things might have been a little rougher than I expected, or I need to fix this ASAP because time is the biggest wealth building factor and I don't have as much time as I once did. And if I keep letting time go by, I'm going to lose hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. I need to start today. If that's you, go in the show notes below and book a call with my team directly today. They'll walk you through everything you need to know to fix this situation once and for all. I hope to see you in Budgetdog Academy. That's where you should be. If you feel any sort of doubt, shame, or anything here, we will empower you. We will put your family on the right track for generations to come. This is not just a you thing. This is for your spouse. This is for your kids. We want to make sure your grandkids are benefiting from this. This is something that is going to generationally change your family tree. We're here to support you guys. I hope you take the right move and you upgrade. You can also use this health quiz, give this to your friends, family. This is a great resource for a lot of people. I hope you guys use it, and I will see you next Monday.